Hello and welcome to this match reaction for Leipzig 2, Aston Villa 3 in the Champions League. What a result, what a performance, and it now puts Villa third in the Champions League format on 13 points. An unbelievable result, and just think, out of Bayern, Juve and Leipzig, we've managed to not lose a game, and the only game Villa have lost is because Tyrone Mings picked the ball up against Club Brugge. What a performance it was today, man. Going into this game, I think when the draw was made initially, this was the game I was dreading the most. Bayern and Juve, they were both against big sides, but they were both at home as well, so I was expecting us to at least turn up in those games. But having watched the performance against Leipzig in pre-season, where they obliterated us, to be fair, and it is pre-season, but you looked at how they set up and the Diego Carlos sending off and all that, you thought this is going to be a tough side anyway. And we always know that Leipzig are a difficult side to play against in Champions League because they have a lot of good players. But Villa turned up and showed what it's all about, man, and yeah, put in a very, very good performance. I'll start with the lineups and how we went into it. So on paper, it looked like Villa was lined up with a back five. Obviously, Matty Cash and Luka Dean both started, as well as three centre-backs in Carlos, Konza and Pau Torres. We saw Kamara and Tielemans in the midfield. And then we had Rodgers, McGinn, and then Watkins playing up top. So yeah, it kind of looked on paper, potentially if it was either a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. But I think when it all was all said and done and in possession, we played more as a four, and Matty Cash was more as a right midfielder. So yeah, it was that was how we lined up. We knew there was going to be trouble and problems from Leipzig's players in terms of Openda and Sesko. We know they're highly rated players within European football, top strikers by name. But for the majority of the game, we did fairly well against them. Going into the first half, I thought Villa started the game on fire. We were creating really well. We were playing well on transition. Lovely link-up play down the left-hand side between McGinn, Digne, and Watkins and Rodgers as well. Whoever was operating on that side up top, there was lovely build up within that as well. Cash was getting high up the pitch as well, getting into really good positions, and you couldn't ask for a better start, man. What an opening goal! I mean, as I said, Tielemans gets the ball out to Cash. Cash does well not to try and go down the line and play it in on his right foot, where he'd potentially struggle, because Cash playing as a right winger, he does struggle at times to get past the man. But no, he makes the intelligent decision. He turns back inside, plays a lovely ball, floats it, back post. Watkins does well to get behind his man. I think it's Hydra who's dropped in for centre midfield. Gets behind him, flicks it back, and John McGinn's in a fantastic position. He times his run perfectly. And even on his right foot, he's not going to miss from that position. So early lead, fantastic. And usually when Villa take the lead early in games, they go on to win those. But this was a bit more of a roller coaster within that. From the goal, we still continued to play and create chances. I think Morgan Rodgers had a good attempt. Yuri Tielemans dragged a shot wide, which you'd expect Yuri Tielemans to get on target with his shooting prowess. We've seen him score screamers before, and on the edge of the box, you expect him to find the target. We had a few more opportunities within that as well. But the football was really good. We were keeping the ball really well. We were playing through the lines or playing out wide. We were really causing Leipzig problems. And Leipzig looked like a side that hadn't got any points so far in the Champions League format. They looked like a side who were kind of defeated in those opening 20-25 minutes. But as Villa typically have done this season, we concede a goal through an unforced error as such. It's just a long, lazy through ball, about 50 yards played by the Leipzig defender. You have a number of defenders around it in Carlos and Pau Torres, and Emery Martinez coming off his line. And for some reason, Emery Martinez is just caught in no man's land. And Openda, he catches onto the ball, takes a touch and just sticks it in. It's such a calamitous error. I think, in my perspective, it's Martinez's fault in the sense that he can see the whole pitch. He can see Openda coming. So his movement to come off his line so early, leads to Carlos and Pau taking a step, slowing down the burners as such. They're not as reactive because they can see Martinez and they envisage that he's coming to clear and claim the ball. They're not looked over their shoulder to see that Openda is looking to latch on and get on the end of it. and that causes a confusion. None of the defenders deal with it, and Martinez is actually caught in no man's land because he's getting nowhere near the long ball because Openda's so quick. He just takes a touch, which takes him and out the game and places it into the empty net. And you think in that point, I can't believe it. It's just a typical Villa scenario. We're having so much control. We're now at 1-1 from Leipzig's real first chance in the game. They hadn't done anything really. They hadn't caused us any trouble whatsoever. And from that point, Leipzig started to play themselves into the game at that point. Not really threatening as such, but they were starting to have a more of a foothold in the game. We saw them playing a bit further high up the pitch. But Villa was still creating at moments within that first half as well. And they're going in 1-1 at half time. I felt that Villa were the better side and were unfortunate not to be going into the break leading at what. But yeah, Ollie Watkins as well had a goal chalked off for being offside. He had another opportunity where he scuffed the shot, and it's just falling in line with Ollie's finishing at the moment. It's not. There's no conviction behind it, is there? We can all admit that there's been opportunities and times this season where he's been through on goal and he's failed to release a shot when the Ollie of last season would have just smacked the ball and put it away. And this season, the opportunities he's been having as well, and in this game especially, there was just no conviction in it. Whereas his overall play was really good. His runs were really good. He was holding up the ball well, got the assist from McGinn. But he's being decisive in the box with his finishing, and it's not really clicking as such as you'd like it to at the moment. So Unai made a sub at half time. Ollie went off. I think he did state in his interview after it was because of a niggle, slight injury. But he brings on the man, the best young striker in the world, John Duran, comes onto the pitch. And yeah, the game changed again into our favour. Second half, we started fantastically well. I thought Boubacar Kamara had an outstanding game once again. Controlled the tempo of the game, intercepts the ball as he usually does, breaks up play. A constant threat in defensive actions, and also showed quality on the ball as well. Some nice passes in the middle of the pitch, and that he was really starting to get into the game at the start of the second half. McGinn again doing really well on the ball, protecting the ball well as well. And it was really good to see Matty Cash playing high up the pitch and getting in behind. And yeah, we were playing really nice phases within the build-up. And yeah, it looked like if anyone's going to score, it was going to be us. And we did. And what a finish. Like, this guy, John Duran, is something else, man. Just think he scored 10 so far this season. And his goal catalogue's a joke. And especially on the biggest stage, in the biggest competition in the world, look at the goals he's scoring. It's an outrageous finish. Now, I think he might have potentially meant to put it in more of the corner. But, Galassi's off his line. And the way he's hit it, he's kind of curled, caressed it. It's dipped. It's lobbed him. It's an absolutely unbelievable finish from 25 yards out. And we have a player who is capable of doing that, scoring from areas of the pitch that no one else can. There's not many players in the world that can do that. Just out of nothing, pure instinct. His left foot is an absolute wand, and he's a lethal finisher, and it's an unbelievable finish. And that puts us 2-1 up. What a player, man. And yeah, we all know the debate behind Watkins and Duran. We have two top quality strikers, and Duran will expect and probably will find himself having more minutes. But the interview he did after the game was really good. Really good interview. Catch it if you can on Amazon, because the interviewee as well did an amazing job speaking in English and Spanish as well. But yeah, Duran, his personality, he said he enjoys the competition with Ollie. He just knows that when he's required and when Unai needs him to perform, it's on him, and he's going to continue to do that. So yeah, a fantastic interview from Duran, and he comes across really well in it, so check that out. But what an outstanding display he put on. I think his link-up play is so underrated. There was opportunities where he got the ball, he was holding it up, he's playing the correct passes, making the right decisions. I think there was only one time where he didn't make the right decision with a pass. He tried to play it across and it got intercepted. But his overall game was fantastic when he came on as well. So we go 2-1 up. Again, you're now thinking Villa, Leipzig have offered nothing again this second half. Just keep it compact, defend properly, defend in a line. and we can see this out and potentially go on to score another, which we did. The ball from Ezri Konsa to Matty Cash in line with that goal was phenomenal. He's played the ball over the top. Matty Cash, that run was causing them problems, and it looked like he timed it perfectly, put a great ball across, and you all think now, Duran's got a brace here, we're 3-1 up, this is cruise control, we're dominating. The goal gets chalked off offside, which is so close. It's like literally his toe. It's so close, and it's an unfortunate decision. But again, it showed how fantastic our general play was. It was a fantastic ball from Konsa. Cash made the perfect run, just slightly offside. Margins, small margins. But the ball he put across for Duran, the position of Duran, he's going to be in the box ready to pounce. And he put it away for Plum, and it was just a shame that got disallowed. So at that point, again, Villa on top, we're 2-1 up. It feels like the next goal is going to be a Villa goal. But of course, in the only way and style Villa can, we end up conceding and making it 2-2. Again, it's a hopeful ball hit up top to find a Penno, who I thought had a very good game for Leipzig, and he's a dangerous striker. He found a bit of space between Carlos and Konsa in that line. He does really well, to be fair. He brings the ball down, but instead of panicking because he can't get the shot off, he turns and plays a lovely ball to the back post, and Baltamina just finishes it. It's a really lovely finish as well. And again, it felt like confusion because Openda was through on goal. You're wondering where Martinez is, but then I think, thinking back on it now, Martinez, if he'd have come out of his area and Openda would have had an easy finish. We saw what happened with Lumley for Southampton against Duran. He kind of made Duran's mind up because he came out of his box, and then Duran knew he couldn't handle the ball, so it was an easier finish. So potentially that was on Martinez's mind, why he retreated and he didn't come out of his area in that instance, because he thought he couldn't get the ball. And when he did come out of the area for the first goal, we all saw what happened. He just misjudged it. But Openda makes the right decision, and it's a quality finish, and that makes it 2-2. And you're thinking, for all the great play that Villa's had, we shouldn't be drawing this game, yet we are. And it gets into a point where it's like, okay, who's going to get the winner here? Because it did feel like there were still goals to be got in the game. And you're just hoping Villa can find something out of nothing. We had the changes come on, we saw Nadalkovic come on for Cash. I thought he had a tough time against Nusa, and who Cashed out really well with in that mid-right wing-back position. And then Barkley and Matson come on as well. Emery Buendia got minutes as well, he came on. So, we used all 5 subs within that time period. And thankfully, it was a lucky deflection, but Ross Barkley gets the winner. And, confirms Villa getting the 3 points. It's a hit and hope from Ross Barkley. We've seen Ross Barkley can strike the ball over the years from outside the box, but he's just hit it really. He's taken the deflection off the defender, and it's 3-2, and Villa go on to win the game. Just a fantastic result. And as I said, even though Leipzig have been rubbish in this Champions League format, and they're now out of the competition, it's still RB Leipzig away, and they still have top quality players within that. And for us to go away, put in that performance and get the 3 points and go up to third in the league format, it's just been a fantastic campaign. And let's just build on it now. Let's go on to finish in the top 8. 2 games, one massive one against Celtic at home. If we can get a win in that, then 16 points, that all but confirms it. And then away to Monaco, who, are having a great campaign as well. Concentrate on the next one. Massive 3 points. What a performance. Huge result. And on to the next game in the Champions League. Up the Villa, man. What a performance.